Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're counting down our picks for the 10 best first-party PS2 games. For this list, we'll be exclusively looking at IPs that Sony owns, so we won't be seeing great PS2 games like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or Final Fantasy X. One entry per franchise. The PS2 had so many great first-party games, so we may have missed your favorite. Which first-party game do you think is best? Let us know in the comments. Before we continue, we publish content all week long. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Killzone. The Halo killer. Well, not so much, but Killzone was a great first attempt from PlayStation and Guerrilla Games to make a first-person shooter. Killzone set itself apart from the competition by being set after a nuclear war on Earth. With Earth looking like hell, the world government created the United Colony Nations, with the goal to invade other planets to create human colonies. While Killzone was praised for its excellent audio and visuals, it lacked a bit when it comes to enemy AI and a handful of technical issues. Despite not being the Halo killer most were hoping Killzone was going to be, the game spawned a slew of sequels with each entry being better than the last. SOCOM 2, US Navy SEALs.
Take cover and sit tight.
When it comes to tactical military games, SOCOM is a bona fide classic. The PS2 received 3 games in the SOCOM series, and while all are great, SOCOM 3 is probably the better of the trilogy. With 12 missions set around the world, SOCOM 2 has a stressful yet rewarding layout with a multitude of bonus objectives. With SOCOM being more grounded and tactical, you'll be graded on your teamwork, stealth, and completed objectives. SOCOM 2 also has amazing online play, which was rather rare back in the day. The online play puts 2 teams of 8 going head-to-head using all the tactical skills they've learned in the campaign to claim victory.
Roger that. We have air support en route to your position.
Twisted Metal Black. Cars with guns, killer clowns, and a heavy metal soundtrack. Twisted Metal Black is one of the 2 Twisted Metal games on the PS2, alongside the port of the PSP game, Twisted Metal Head On. In Black, we see the story unfold through vignettes that shed some light on the character's dark and troubled past. It took the series in a more mature direction compared to the earlier games. However, the core gameplay is still here. Cars equipped with guns and an all-out vehicular combat brawl. Sly 2, Band of Thieves. No debate. This second installment was the pinnacle of this beloved Sucker Punch franchise, and it's easy to see why. In Sly 2, you're still doing what thieves do, sneaking around while looking for valuables. Sly 2 took everything the first game did and built upon it. With some new additions to the stealth mechanics, breaking and entering had never felt so fun. However, we don't just play as Sly, since the duo of Bentley and Murray join us on each caper, with their own diverse range of moves to help us get away with the goods. Eco. There is something truly spectacular about Eco. The game oozes in minimalist world building combined with intricate puzzles. We play as Eco, a young boy dead set on saving his friend Yorda from her imminent doom. Eco doesn't shove a story down your throat. In fact, that's what makes it amazing. Every floor and encounter in the dark, gloomy castle helps players interpret the narrative on their own. All the movement feels deliberate. Sure, there's platforming and combat, but compared to other games, every jump or swing of the sword feels real and meaningful. Eco is often overlooked, but with the unique and somewhat simplistic design, it still feels fresh even compared to today's games. Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy.
Hey, baby! What do you say you and I go cruising on this A-grad Zoomer?
Rule number 1, I don't date animals.
The more edgy of the three family PS2 mascots, Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy was a great jumping point for the series. In order to reverse Daxter's transformation, the duo have to collect power cells and ultimately stop Gol Acheron before he awakens the Dark Echo Sage. While Jak and Daxter is your typical 3D platformer of the time, the one-sided banter from Daxter brings much-needed comic relief to the game.
Okay, I'm fine.
There are 2 more Jak and Daxter games and a racing spin-off on the PS2, but the first game felt more streamlined and stuck to the 3D platforming compared to others. Plus, as a collectathon, it's hard to beat. Gran Turismo 3, A-SPEC. The PS1 graced us with one of the best simulation racing series ever with the introduction of Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo 3 took everything the first 2 games pioneered and tuned it into one of the best racing sims ever. Think of it like having a Toyota Corolla and upgrading to a Supra. Gran Turismo 3 still has the iconic License Challenge, arcade mode, and simulation mode. It was also the first in the series to bring the popular F1 racing to the game. Even to this day, Gran Turismo 3 feels and looks amazing, which is thanks to the amazing feel of each car. Ratchet and Clank, Up Your Arsenal.
Officials believe that an evil robotic supervillain known as Dr. Nefarious is the mastermind behind the Tyrannoid attack.
Just like Jak and Sly, Ratchet and Clank was one of the more family-friendly mascots for the PS2, possibly even being the biggest of the 3, as we're still seeing games in the series to this day. There were a total of 5 Ratchet and Clank games on the PS2, and all were amazing. However, Up Your Arsenal is probably the best. Dr. Nefarious is up to no good and is turning everyone into robots, and it's up to Ratchet and Clank, with the help of the Galactic Rangers, to stop him. The Ratchet and Clank games are known for having crazy, silly, over-the-top weapons, and the third entry is no different. Load up your rhino and go wild.
The Rhinocerator generates a spectacular blast of destructive energy that obliterates anything foolish or unlucky enough to be caught in its path.
Shadow of the Colossus. Just like Eco, Shadow of the Colossus is top-notch when it comes to world building and storytelling with minimal dialogue and exposition. In order to save his beloved from death, Wander must traverse and eventually slay giant beasts known as Colossi, with each having unique weak points, while all Wander can do is run, climb, and chip away at their massive stature. In between these gauntlets of boss battles, we're free to explore an empty landscape, but filled with immense beauty. Shadow of the Colossus truly flipped the perspective on what a game could be, and even by today's standards, it's viewed as one of the strongest examples of how video games can be art. God of War 2. Revenge is truly the best medicine. After being betrayed by Zeus, Kratos seeks revenge on him as well as the rest of Olympus. But first, he's got to hunt down the Sisters of Fate to alter his destiny and prevent his death. God of War 2 kept the over-the-top bloody hack-and-slash action, puzzles, and grandiose boss battles from its predecessor, but improved just about everything along the way. God of War 2 is a wild adventure with huge set pieces and no shortage of enemies to rip and tear through with the Blades of Chaos. Put it all together, and you might just have the best first-party PS2 game. Did you enjoy this video? Check out some other clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.